Pretty much every millionaire has real estate in their portfolio, and everyone seems to think it's the best way to build wealth. So this video is going to be a little bit longer, but if you're open-minded and you stay till the end, I will teach you about another asset class that has the potential to bring all the benefits you look for in real estate investments without the headaches. Okay, first, let's start talking about some of the benefits of owning real estate investments. Well, hopefully you picked the right property, but if you did, you could have an asset that appreciates in value and grows sheltered of tax, at least until the point of sale. You could potentially create cash flow by leasing out the property or renting it, short-term or long-term. You could potentially leverage your real estate and pull out 65 to maybe 80% of the equity without having to sell the asset. And you could potentially create deductions, which could be advantageous from a tax perspective. Now, that's a pretty good list of benefits, but what about the cons? Well, generally speaking, you may need about 20% to get started, which could be a significant amount of capital for some people and may exclude them from expanding beyond their principal residence. There could be incurred costs that maybe you're not thinking about: maintenance and repair costs, property taxes, insurance costs, and maybe you're paying a company to manage this asset. If you want to cash flow it, you have to have a tenant, and you may have to cover vacancy liabilities out of your own pocket. Not to mention, what if you have bad tenants? Now you're dealing with strata complaints, and if you live in a province like BC, your tenants have almost as much rights as you do. And what is the legal cost to evict them and the potential cost of damaged property? And when you want to sell the asset, you have to find a buyer. And there's further costs to that: commissions, legal fees, and what happens if you're in a down market? You could potentially take a loss. Not to mention the capital gains tax that you'll likely have to pay when you do finally find a buyer. Lastly, what if you pass away suddenly and your children inherit the real estate? And if they don't have the money to cover the capital gains liability, they may have to sell that asset. And how do you feel about that? Think about all the work and sacrifice that you put into acquiring that asset in the first place. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that real estate investing is a bad thing. What I'm saying is that it comes with a lot of pros, but also some very clear potential headaches. Okay, let's talk about this other asset class. We're going to call it PAR for now. Well, this asset, it's going to grow for you as well, sheltered of tax, because it has a tax exemption. This asset will continue to grow for you regardless of the market conditions, because there is no market risk. This asset will pay you an annual dividend if you'd like, to help create a passive stream of income. This asset could be leveraged just like real estate, but instead of having access to 65 or maybe 80% of the equity, you can access potentially 90 to 100% of the liquidity in it. Oh, and did I mention, you could potentially access this liquidity tax-free. And depending on the structure and if the asset is held corporately, there could be many other tax advantages as well. And although the entry point for this asset is going to be more affordable and therefore more accessible to most people, it can be scaled to much greater heights. Lastly, if you were to pass away suddenly, you'll have an immediate buyer for this asset. And upon death, the growth of this asset blossoms exponentially. And generally speaking, your family and loved ones will receive those proceeds tax-free as well. So this asset class will grant you all the benefits that you're likely looking for in real estate investing, but it comes with none of the headaches. Now you're probably wondering, what is this new asset class that I'm talking about? Well, the reality is that this is not a new asset class at all. In fact, it's been around for over a century, hiding in plain sight. You likely just never knew how powerful it can be when structured properly. It's whole life insurance.